Hello, 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 powerful mujeres. Welcome back to the Yes Mujer Build It podcast. Feels like I haven't been here with you guys in a long time because so much has happened in the last week. Namely, half of LA County has been on fire. You may have heard that we were dealing with numerous fires, up to, I think, at one point, 8 fires happening at the same time in LA County, different parts of LA County. And if you're in other parts of California or other states, other parts of the nation, you may have heard of the biggest fires that were really affecting us, the Pacific Palisades fire and the Eaton fire, which was in Altadena, California. So I'm going to talk to you guys today we're going to have a little lesson on how to manage our nervous system, how to regulate our nervous system when it becomes deregulated, which is what has happened to my nervous system and what has happened to the majority of Angelinos that I've encountered the last few days. First of all, let me just start with a big outpouring of gratitude to all of you. Thank you so much for your love, for your support, for checking in on me and my family. I received your voice messages. I received your love. I received so much of your intention, and I felt your intention in my heart all of last week since this started happening on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Here we are Monday and still dealing with some of the repercussions of the fire. And in some ways, starting to deal with the reality of how many people lost their homes. How many people lost their homes? How many people have been affected? But it's not just the people who've lost their homes, and my heart goes out to them tremendously. I mean, I can't even start to imagine what it feels like to have your entire life pulled out from under you in terms of your memories, the place that you called home that is safe for you, that reminds you of unconditional love. How do you even start to put together words for how to deal with that? But there's also a ripple effect, right? I'm seeing how this affects small business owners, which shout out to all the small business owners in Altadena and Pasadena. I was there over the weekend, and they're the ones that are showing up for their community. I know plenty of businesses that had to shut down for a little while in order to become a hub for volunteers or become a hub for the people that need resources or become a hub for collecting donations. Amazing human beings who just went into go, go, go organize mode, who will also feel what's happening to their nervous system at some point when they calm down. But everyone, and I mean everyone in Los Angeles has been affected. Not just Los Angeles, in other parts, in Orange County and other states. If you know anyone in LA, and let's be real here, everybody knows somebody in LA. If you know somebody in LA, you have been affected also. So we're going to talk about regulating your nervous system. I'm going to share with you some simple tools that I use. I use these tools with my clients. I'm going to name those tools today. And if you're experiencing stress, overwhelm, if you're experiencing anything that is deregulating you from feeling your normal self, then these are going to be helpful for you too. Number one, first thing you should do when you're feeling overwhelmed or stressed or in anxiety is to take something off your list. Yes, for those of you that have been impacted by the fire in some way, this is not a normal week. You already know this, right? I'm only reminding you of this because the brain tends to tell us that we should be functioning at 100% capacity always. Well, your 100% is going to look different this week. It is absolutely going to look different. Can't be the same physical go, go, go mode. You can't have the same expectation level of yourself if you're in LA County this week, for sure. And maybe even next week. You need to be more mindful of what to expect from yourself. So loving kindness to yourself, compassion to yourself. And I would say take off anything that's absolutely not necessary for you right now. Anything that's extra that you were going to do, maybe you were going to volunteer somewhere or something, and it's not absolutely needed, it's not related to the fire, it's not something that you absolutely have to do, take it off your list. Let's prioritize what absolutely has to get done and your mental health. That's it. So, lower expectation level of yourself this week, more realistic expectation level of yourself this week. 100% is going to look different this week. And take something off your list, at least one thing that you take off your list. Let's prioritize your mental health and what you're actually spending time on. That's number one. Secondly, in prioritizing your mental health, what we really want to do is start to regulate your nervous system again. And a simple way to do that is through breathing, right? Through doing breath work. Yes, and there's some amazing coaches out there practicing this. I also practice this with myself and with my clients. We've done it during meditations. We've done it during Future Self Experience, during our Visioning 2025 that we had. That was so fun to do all together. So box breathing is one of the ways in which you can regulate your nervous system, bring yourself back down to calmness. And it's simple. It's inhaling for 4 counts. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You inhale for those 4 counts. Then you hold for 4. So you inhale for 4, you hold for 4 seconds, and then you exhale for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you hold again for 4 seconds. So what box breathing does is it takes the mind out of thinking about all the drama that is going on maybe in your life or the things that are stressing you out, which makes sense right now, right? They bring your brain back to focus. They bring the mind back to focusing on a box, the 4 squares of a box. That's why it's called box breathing, because it's inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds. Simple, powerful technique to center your mind again, to allow yourself to use breath as a way to bring your parasympathetic system back into alignment. That's it. Simple way to bring yourself back to center. Second simple way to bring your nervous system back into alignment, putting your hands physically on your heart, closing your eyes, and thinking of someone who you unconditionally love, or who unconditionally loves you. Whoever that person is, whether they're here or not. What this does is this opens up our heart chakra. It allows us to fully feel in our body the light of love, to fully experience the feeling of love in our heart. That is a really high frequency of vibration. When that happens, there's a centering that happens, almost like a safety that you start to feel all over your body. That is powerful. That recenters your nervous system. It brings you back to this feeling of, I am okay. I am okay. I'm going to be okay. I have everything I need in this moment. I am experiencing love. I am reminded that I am deeply loved and that I am loving, that I am giving love to the world. There's so much healing in just feeling the energy of love. Stopping and allowing yourself to feel the energy of love. I do this 3 or 4 times a day, guys. Yeah. And I do it in honor of different people who I love. Sometimes I think of somebody who loves me, but usually it's who do I love unconditionally? I even do it to give love to Mother Nature, to Mother Earth, who in the last week has really shown us her power, right? Yeah. Let us not forget that fire is transformation. Through fire, things get transformed. There is no other way to be in relationship to fire, but to allow it to do its dance. And it doesn't dance in this chronological time space. It dances in sacred time. It doesn't move in one particular direction or another. It moves unpredictably, which is part of why we experienced what we experienced. But it is part of Mother Nature. It is an element that you can use to move you forward in your life. The challenge is it doesn't always feel like it's in our control, right? It's not in our control. So many of you listening to this might be experiencing change in your life or wanting something to change in your life. Fire takes it to a whole new level. Fire is about transforming, not just changing, but completely disintegrating what is so that you can create something new. And there are times in our lives when that is necessary. The relationship that you're in has to die or end in order for you to create something new. The job that you're in has to end, or you have to be let go from or fired from, or you have to quit in order to start thinking about, well, what do I really want to do? And calling in the job that you really want, right? Sometimes we have to have a death of a certain part of us in order to move into what is next. Yeah. That brings me to the last tool I'm going to share with you today about regulating your nervous system. Drinking a hot cup of tea. That's it. It could also be coffee, but I prefer tea, especially during these challenging times, because like me, you may be experiencing some challenges with your throat this week because of all the sud left over from the fires. I was in Altadena yesterday meeting some beautiful people that are business owners who had to shift their whole business in a couple of days in order to bring in people who needed a place to stay, people who were looking for supplies, and these are people that are already connected to the community in a really big way. So they really wanted to show up and be of service. Some of them had to close down their businesses for a couple of days in order to collect donations, in order to start being a hub for people who need the support. So in being out there and volunteering and donating some goodies that toiletries and things that people needed, I could feel the difference in the air. I could feel the almost like a thickness in the air. And I was wearing a mask and I could still feel it. Last night when I came home, I felt it in my throat. And I've been talking to people from LA all day today who also felt it in their throats. So there's definitely something going on with us that I think is important to keep track of. Tea, especially ginseng tea, osha root tea, even lavender tea will help your throat. It will help calm your nervous system down. It will help your immune system feel stronger during these times. It will help your lungs start to feel normal again. Ooh, I can even feel it as I'm talking to you guys right now. We all need to be thinking about our lungs because we only have two and they're part of our permanent body, right? Our body that stays with us while we're alive. Tea is a great way to cleanse your throat, give immunity to your lungs, support your immune system, and also release stress and tension. So, a tea meditation, all that means is you pour yourself some hot tea, you sit somewhere quietly, and you drink the tea mindfully. You drink it in a slow fashion, slowly, you take time, and you really feel every drop of that tea in your mouth. You taste the tea, you feel the warmth in your mouth, you feel the warmth on your tongue, you feel the warmth as it goes down your throat. You are mindfully, almost like a meditation, drinking the tea. This will absolutely calm you down. It will recenter you. It will bring you back to the present moment. All these techniques will bring you back to the present moment. Box breathing, the heart technique, where you put your hands on your heart and you think of somebody you unconditionally love. It could also be an animal, by the way, or a plant or anything that you have love for, an organization that you really love. It doesn't have to be an individual person. What we're trying to do when you put your hands on your heart is open up your heart chakra so that you experience the feeling of love. That's the power, experiencing the feeling of love. box breathing, hand on heart, drinking some tea. All powerful ways for you to regulate your nervous system again, for you to start feeling centered, for you to start feeling a little bit of the feeling of, I am okay. And of course, let's not forget what I said at the beginning of this recording for this podcast. Take something off your list. Yeah. Or postpone it. Prioritize what absolutely has to get done. Like my kids still need to be fed this week. That's a priority for me. And prioritize your mental health. Do not have the same expectation level of yourself that you do normally. I know one of the things that many of us healers, coaches, people who hold space for other people feel is guilt during this time, especially if you're a person who wasn't directly impacted by the fire. What I mean by that is your house is still standing. I feel it. And I'm not even in an area where there were lots of homes lost. But just being around people who lost their homes, I feel guilty that I still have mine. And I'm a coach. I'm aware that guilt is a choice. And yet it comes over you, right? Yeah. So we want to be mindful of that. Just because you didn't lose your house and you're fortunate enough, yes, so much gratitude that it wasn't you. But that doesn't mean you're not experiencing trauma. You could still be experiencing trauma right now. Even if you weren't evacuated or you didn't receive the 4 a.m. evacuation notices on our cell phones, or you didn't get, crazy messages all day long or no water. I know my parents lost power for 4 days. So even if you weren't one of those people who lost power, doesn't have water, you still experienced collectively what we all experienced. It's okay to need help. It's okay to need support. In fact, one of the things we're working on right now with other amazing healers and leaders is a free event for you to come and get some healing done, for you to come and get a limpia or some Reiki, anything that's going to support you with moving energy through your body. That's going to be so powerful. Or if you just want to vent to someone, that's great too. That's how I process. You might be surprised that I process through speaking. Of course you're not, because this is what I do, right? I process a lot through talking things out. In fact, last night I spent an hour talking to my husband, just telling him all the things that I had experienced over the weekend. I took my daughter with me to go volunteer at these beautiful places, which was such a gift to witness her awakening of the privilege that we live in. And also what you do in these times of crisis, right? Yeah. But I'm also aware that I'm going to need a break at some point. I'm going to need a day maybe by myself, or I'm going to need some hours of meditation, right? Maybe spending some time in a sauna or steam room. Oh, that sounds so good. I'm going to need some support at some point. This can't all be me giving, giving, giving. That's why it's really important to make sure you don't have the same expectation level of yourself that you do normally. Yeah, just do that. Take something off your list. Surrender to the fact that you're probably traumatized, as are most of us in LA, and that it's okay, right? Pain is pain. Do as much as you can to help, but remember, priority is your mental health. If you start to fall apart, that's it. It's all going to continue to go down the drain. Practice box breathing. Practice putting your hands on your heart and taking a deep breath in and just feeling that love, that unconditional love that you have or that someone has for you. And then make sure to drink some warm tea today, tomorrow, every day this week. Your throat will thank you for it. Your lungs will thank you for it. Your immune system will thank you. And you're going to feel a little bit better. It's going to bring you back to center. Isn't it funny how the tools aren't really complicated? They're simple tools for managing yourself, managing your nervous system, starting to get yourself back to feeling centered and feeling safe. But the actually doing it part, right? The taking the time out of your crazy busy schedule, especially when there's a lot going on like this week where we're giving to other people. Taking the time is the hard part. It's vital. I'm going to tell you right now, it's vital for you to take time this week to do some of these activities. Yes, because what we don't want to have happen is you start falling apart or you get overwhelmed with so much going on that the stress becomes too much. Let's take care of ourselves. And of course, let's take care of each other. I love all of you so much. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me. And for those of you that aren't in California or in LA and are watching us from afar, please keep sending us your love, keep sending us your energy. I believe in collective healing. I believe in the power of collective intention setting. Please send us your intentions that these winds calm down, that we get our act together in California in terms of fires and insurance and FEMA and all the other things, and send us strength for the transformation that we are experiencing. I love you all, and I'll see you on the next episode.